Okay, this is going to be the big day to start this thing up. So we've got everything buttoned up, put together. Last view of underneath. This is the 88 35th anniversary Corvette Paxton Supercharged ZZ3 motor, big tube Edelbrock runners, big injectors, all the stuff done to it. If you watch this mini part series of this car, building a motor from the crank up, basically. So here's an overview of the car. We kind of cleaned up a little bit of the mufflers and stuff here, and everything's done. Yesterday I think I showed a video of the off-road Y pipe that I had ceramic coated. So this is just kind of a repeat, looking over the car. Oil's in it. The oil's been primed on the engine stand. We have turned it over a few times just to get things. We set the timing off the starter. Got it set at 4. It is a high compression motor, stock at 6. I showed a video how to do that. So you can see a little bit of the bottom of this car before we go it. And yeah, those are 315s on 10-inch wheels in the back. Those are Dimag wheels. You can't really do that on a stock one because they're 9.5s, but they'll work on the 10s, just barely. But you're better off with 11 wheel, of course, on a 315. But they don't make these in 11. They make them in 12s, but they're the big ZR1 size like that car has on the back. And that would not work on this car. So anyway, you ready to drop it? Let's drop this thing on the lift. Give me a hand with this. Pull that one, and I'll drop the other. Gonna go up, get it off the locks. Ready to pull it real hard, and here goes down. And we don't even have a battery in the car. We're running it right off of that deal. I don't want to invest in a battery until the last minute when I know everything works. If you have a problem, you got a brand new battery in the car, well, the battery just sits until you finish it all. It ages, gets old, pretty soon's worthless. I don't know how electric cars are gonna age, but when you get 2 to 3 years out of these batteries now, at the most, it's insane. Supercharged decals, got those built when we were doing the promotion for Paxton years ago. All right, I'm just gonna leave it there. So now, here is the complete engine bay. Everything is on there, other than one item. And that one item is the water methanol injection system. I don't have hooked up yet because we have the bag out. We're cleaning that out. And that runs off of a pump that's boost sensitive. We're not gonna need it just for initial run, obviously. And I have set all the fuel pressure, the base pressure. I think showed some videos of that. The FMU pressure based on boost, which is, you know, how these systems work a little bit different. If you had a computer or some sort of ninth injector, you'd be much better off, but FMU works. It's not scientific, it's close. And I'll dial that in with an air fuel meter later when I get it all figured out. But you know, this car ran before this way, so we have kind of an idea where it works. And so there's the Paxton Supercharger, all shined up. And you look at the Paxton serial numbers. You know, this is the Corvette one for the they call them the GSS, which is basically an SN 2000, because this was I had this updated even though we had this on this car since '89. I think J.R. Granatelli at the time built me a new blower, and we have the special impeller in it, which is a modified one. And there's the runners, all the plumbing down in there, everything that you can imagine done, all put back to close to stock as possible, all integrated in with the aftermarket runners. Of course, the ported stock plenum, and still running the stock throttle body. And this car runs pretty good with the stock throttle body because it's shoving a lot of air through it. But you can put a bigger one on yours if you're not blower. Obviously, here's the Paxton Supercharger setup. The alternator turns backwards, and that's not a special alternator. Apparently, any alternator can go forwards or backwards, and they work fine. So that's the way it is. The air pump system, which is a boost bypass on this, which comes off of down here. You can see that hose here, really, and it goes and it becomes your air pump, and that opens up when the car is at a vacuum state. So there's not a lot of boost that's built up into the S tube, as they call it here, into this system. It's just there. So when you drop the vacuum to 0 or positive manifold pressure, that thing shuts, and then you get more boost that way. It's kind of rudimentary wastegate on a low performance blower there. But you know, say low performance, but it is 8 to 10 pounds, and it does work good. And that's it. So here we go. We're gonna try this thing. You want to do the honors? Watch that oil pressure. If it doesn't come up immediately, shut it down. Brett's gonna start it. I'll control the throttle right here off the back. Boom, boom. Fuel pump came up. There we go. All right, there it's running. You think we did this before? That's literally the first run of this motor. Oil pressure good? And those injectors are noisy, you can hear them. Probably forced on a video usually. Those are the big Bosch ones. A lot of people call them the SVO 30s and things like that. They're like 38-pound injectors. They are noisy SOBs. Go ahead and pop the door up, turn the fan on. Kill ourselves. It's cold outside, move the door down. There's my young son. Yeah, I'm 60 years old with a 8-year-old, so how about that? What do you think of that? First run of that car, all that work, over a year of work.
And it still got more.
And it still got more, yep. Over a year of work and doing everything yourself. That's over roughly about $15,000 in investment just for a block. And all the ported, I mean the big tube runners, because it's vintage, you could have thrown a LSA in this thing and gone down the road and beat some world beaters, but here you go. Who knows what this is going to make, but I'm pretty sure I'm right on what it's going to build. Temp at 130 right now. Okay. Oil pressure good. All right. Rev it up off the just a little bit. Yeah, either way. ZZ3 cam, so it's oh, I don't remember the lift. I think it's 505, or right at 500, like that. I think it's a 114 centerline cam, if I remember right. Not a heavy cam, but it works good for this application. Well, those injectors are noisy. Fuel pressure cap back on. I've got just straight conventional oil in it right now. It's 2050. I'll dump that later. Idling like a man. This motor idles even better than a lot better than the low compression one did. The higher 8s motor really lopey. But you raise that compression up on this one. This 11-to-1 motor with a JE pistons. It really idles good. Idles almost stock sounding. And man, it's got some instant throttle response. That's just barely touching it. It's gonna get away from you quick. Let's see. Let's look at the oil temperature. Still low. How about that? Fan's not even kicked on. I've got a 180 kick on this car. I'm gonna turn the air conditioning on just to heat it up some more. There we go. R12. There's your Paxton boost gauge. You can see that motor's pulling about 16, 17 right there with the air conditioning on, and that's good. Before it pulled about 12 with the lower compression. So it's that higher compression definitely helps it. Balances out pretty well there. So that's running 4 degrees initial timing. I don't know where I can go with it yet. You know, this is going to have a little mix of race fuel to run it, or to get on it anyway, not drive it. And then, of course, the methanol water injection, which run about 50-50 in that. Basically, for lack of a better term, windshield washer fluid. I've run straight methanol in it before, and it really did kind of pick it up, but I think it was starting a little bit too lean there. Good old car. No check engine light. I'm going to shut it off and turn it back on. Make sure the check engine light. Check service engine soon. Let's see what we go. Nice. Should be running in I don't know if it's running in closed loop yet or not. There, 180 it should. Things should change now. Kick down to 179 again. I'll go back in there and let it heat up some more. Ugh. This isn't really an initial break-in on an entire motor. The camshaft, you know, it's been run before, all the rods and everything. It's got new bearings in it. So yeah, it is kind of in new pistons, and it was bored out a little bit just to accommodate the pistons. But this motor never blew up. It just had a bad head gasket, and that bad head gasket was from water seepage. So, and again, we wanted to raise the compression on it because the last configuration I had that really ran good was the stock compression, which was 10 1/4. This is actually a little higher. And then just tuning it with that, getting the right air fuel ratio, and running it at a mid to mild boost. And the last configuration I had, I lowered the compression and added more boost by changing to a smaller pulley. And what that caused was, well, it ran good, but idle-wise, you have more load on the blower because of you're pulling the blower harder, less compression, and so it was just really hard idle car. It just did not idle well. It would stall all the time. It would just let out the clutch a little bit. You'd really have to get on it. But now it just, I mean, it's nice. And that's just a compression change. Brought that back up. thing, the mufflers are kind of loud. But those are single chamber mufflers. So they're really kind of loud mufflers, but then it has a little 3-inch glass pack in the middle of it, the front of it, so it works okay. Not too loud, but it's pretty damn loud. Hit it one more time now that it's warmed up in the oxygen sensor and everything's reading. Yeah, now it's, there you go. Now you're seeing the fuel kick in there. That's good. That was the FMU bringing that fuel in. What's the temperature on it now? Yeah, 180. Well, I'd say it's 100% success so far. Rarely do you get that. Feel the injector tick right there. The pattern is all of them firing at one time. Batch fire system. I'd be worried about it, but I know that those injectors running before, and they were always noisy. And I think most people have that same issue with that. These are the Bosch, 30s SVO type injectors, the maroon top ones. Yeah, go ahead and shut it down. Hey, Rick. There we go. So, we'll do some videos of this thing driving and tuning some air-fuel ratios on it, which I think it's pretty close because I had it tuned before, and I guessed a little richer on this one because it's got more compression. So, there it is. Basically, over 2 years of piddling with it, building it from the crankshaft up. 88 Corvette. Thanks for watching.